Zuri bent down by the glowing shadow river, singing softly as she scooped the water, when suddenly, crack! A stick hit her back. She gasped and tried to stand, but a shadow loomed behind her. Her sister, Kyra, eyes full of anger, whispered, "You will never dance at the festival. Your destiny is mine." Zuri fell into a hidden pit. The last thing she saw was Kyra snatching her precious bracelet. But in our land, the river spirits do not stay silent. Will Zuri survive? Will the prince see the truth? If you love magical African folk tales, hit that subscribe button now and join our community of storytellers. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a story. In the large and peaceful kingdom of Anyama, people used to say something very important. A jealous sister is more dangerous than an enemy. And in this kingdom lived a girl named Zuri. Zuri was about 12 years old. She had smooth brown skin, bright eyes, and a smile that could make even a crying baby calm down. She was kind, gentle, and always tried her best to help everyone. Zuri was not born into suffering. Her father had been a brave hunter. Her mother was known for her beautiful singing voice. Everyone loved their family. But one day, a terrible accident happened. Zuri's parents died and she had nowhere to go. So her father's brother, her uncle, took her in. He had a wife and a daughter named Kyra. Kyra was the same age as Zuri, but she was the complete opposite of her. Zuri was soft and helpful. Kyra was loud and proud. Zuri shared her food. Kyra grabbed things from people's hands. Zuri said thank you. Kyra pushed people aside. And Kyra's mother, she loved her daughter far too much to correct her. She spoiled her daughter like a princess and treated Zuri like a housemaid. Every morning, Zuri woke up before the sun. She swept the compound, washed plates, fetched water, cleaned clothes, and helped cook the food. Kyra slept until she felt like opening her eyes. But no matter how much work Zuri did, she never complained. She never shouted. She never fought back. She simply smiled and did what she was asked to do. Whenever Kyra poured dirty water on the floor Zuri had just cleaned, Zuri smiled and cleaned it again. Whenever Kyra hid Zuri's slippers and made her walk barefoot, Zuri still smiled. Whenever Kyra and her mother talked about her, Zuri pretended not to hear and kept walking. Soon, everyone in Anyama knew Zuri as the girl who smiled even when life was hard. But the more Zuri smiled, the more Kyra became angry. She didn't understand it. Why does she smile? Kyra would whisper to herself. She walks like a slave. She wears old clothes. She has nothing. Why is she still happy? The anger inside Kyra grew like a wildfire. One afternoon, Kyra watched Zuri washing clothes at the river. Zuri hummed a soft song, her voice calm and sweet. Kyra's heart tightened. She thinks she's better than me, Kyra muttered. She thinks she can shine in this house. But Zuri did not think that at all. She only wanted peace. She only wanted love. She only wanted to belong to a family again. But Kyra did not care. And somewhere, deep inside her, a plan was beginning to form. A plan so dangerous and so dark that even the spirits of the land would one day rise because of it. But Zuri did not know. She kept smiling. She kept helping. She kept hoping. Because sometimes, the kindest people are the ones who do not see the danger growing right beside them. And in the kingdom of Anyama, something big was coming. Something that would test Zuri's heart, her courage, and even her destiny. The next day in the kingdom of Anyama was brighter than usual. People were running around happily, drums were beating in the distance, and children were dancing in the streets. Something exciting had happened.
The king's town crier stood in the middle of the market, beating his large talking drum. Po, po, po! Then he shouted loudly, "Hear this! Hear this! Prince Ikena has returned from his studies. There will be a big dancing festival, and the prince will choose his bride, not by riches, but by the beauty of her dance and the purity of her heart." All the girls screamed with excitement. This was every girl's chance to become the future queen. Some girls began practicing their dance steps right in the market. Others ran home to look for their best clothes. Everyone wanted to impress the prince. Even Kyra. When she heard the news, her eyes shone like greedy stars. "This is my chance," she whispered to herself. "I must be the one the prince chooses." Her mother clapped happily. "Kyra, my child, you will be the most beautiful girl there." But then she looked at Zuri, who was washing plates quietly. "You," she said sharply, "don't think you can compete." Zuri blinked. I didn't say anything." Her aunt snapped. "You better not. Stay in your place." Zuri lowered her head. She wanted to dance too. She wanted to attend the festival like every other girl, but she knew her aunt would never allow it. Later that evening, when Zuri was cleaning the compound, Kyra leaned against the doorway and smirked. "You, dance? Don't make me laugh," Kyra mocked. "The prince will never look at you." Zuri didn't answer. She simply continued sweeping. But inside her heart, she dreamed. Just once, she wanted to feel free. Just once, she wanted to dance without fear. That night, something strange happened. As Zuri finished sweeping, a soft glow surrounded her wrist. She looked down and saw the small bracelet her mother had given her before she died. The gold beads sparkled like tiny stars. Her mother had said, "As long as you wear this, your spirit will shine." Zuri smiled softly and touched the bracelet. It was the only thing she had left of her parents. Meanwhile, in the next room, Kyra and her mother were planning. "We must make you the prince's choice," her mother whispered. "We cannot allow Zuri to attend the festival. You must be the only shining star." Kyra grinned wickedly. "Don't worry, Mama. I already have a plan to make sure Zuri stays far away." Her mother leaned closer. "What plan?" Kyra's eyes glowed with jealousy. "A plan that will make sure Zuri never returns." Her mother didn't understand what she meant, but she didn't ask. All she did was smile. And that smile was the beginning of something terrible. The next morning, the sun rose slowly. Birds chirped. The village was peaceful, but peace was about to break. Kyra's mother called Zuri. "Zuri, come here." Zuri hurried over, wiping her hands on her apron. "Yes, Auntie?" Her aunt pointed towards the distant forest. "Go to the Shadow River and fetch a pot of water for Kyra to bathe before the festival. The water will make her skin glow." Zuri's eyes widened. "The Shadow River? It is far, and people say spirits live there." Her aunt glared. "Are you refusing me?" Zuri shook her head quickly. "No, Auntie, I will go." "Good," her aunt said. "If you are fast enough, maybe, just maybe, you can come to the festival too." But she didn't mean it. She just wanted Zuri gone. And Kyra, she had her own plan waiting in the dark corners of the forest. Zuri picked up the clay pot and began walking into the forest. She did not know Kyra was following her quietly. She did not know danger was walking right behind her. She did not know her life was about to change forever. And as she entered the forest path, the birds stopped singing. Zuri walked deeper and deeper into the forest, holding the clay pot with both hands. The morning sun was bright behind her, but inside the forest, the light grew dim. Tall trees blocked the sky, and the air felt colder. Zuri whispered to herself, "Don't be afraid. Just fetch the water and go home." But in her heart, she was scared. Everyone in the kingdom knew the stories about the Shadow River. It was said to be the home of ancient water spirits. Some people said the river could talk. Others said the river could show your true heart. Only brave people went there. Zuri wasn't brave, but she had no choice. Meanwhile, not too far behind her, Kyra followed silently. Her face was tight with anger. Her footsteps were quiet like a cat, and in her hand, she held a strong wooden stick. Kyra whispered to herself, "Today, everything will change. Today, Zuri's story ends and mine begins." As Zuri walked, she kept hearing little sounds around her, rustling leaves, snapping twigs. She looked back several times, but each time she saw nothing. Maybe it's just birds, she told herself. But it wasn't birds. It was Kyra. After walking for a long time, Zuri finally reached the river. The Shadow River was beautiful in a strange and magical way. The water was clear, but glowed with a soft blue color. Gentle mist floated above it like tiny clouds. The trees around the river bent slightly, almost as if they were bowing. Zuri stepped closer. A peaceful silence filled the air. She knelt near the riverbank and dipped her hand in the water. It felt cool, soft and calm, almost like the water was alive. She placed the clay pot down and began to sing a gentle song her mother used to sing. Her voice was soft and sweet, and for a moment, the whole forest seemed to listen. But then, the birds went silent. The wind stopped moving. Even the glowing water became still. Something was wrong. Zuri felt a chill run through her body. She looked around nervously. "Kyra?" she called softly. "Is anyone there?" No answer. She bent forward again to scoop water into her pot. Suddenly, crack! A loud sound exploded behind her. Zuri gasped and turned. Kyra stepped out from behind a tree. "Kyra?" Zuri said, confused. "Why are you here? Did Auntie send you too?" Kyra didn't smile. She didn't talk. She gripped the wooden stick tightly and walked closer. "Kyra," Zuri said again, backing away. "You're scaring me. What's happening?" Kyra's eyes were full of anger. "You always smile. You think you are better than me." Zuri shook her head quickly. "No, I don't think that at all." But Kyra didn't listen. "You have nothing," Kyra shouted. "Yet everyone loves you. They look at you and ignore me." Zuri's hands trembled. "Kyra, please, stop. Let's go home." But Kyra stepped closer. "You will not dance at the festival," she said coldly. "You will never dance at all." Before Zuri could move, Kyra raised the stick. Wham! It struck Zuri's back. Zuri gasped and fell to the ground. "Kyra, please," she whispered weakly. But Kyra didn't stop. She grabbed Zuri by the arm and dragged her toward a deep, hidden pit covered with leaves. It looked like just part of the forest floor, but it was a trap hole once used by hunters. Zuri tried to speak. "Kyra, don't! Please don't!" But jealousy had blinded Kyra. With one hard push, Zuri fell into the pit. She hit the ground with a painful thud. "Kyra!" she cried. "Help me, please!"
Kyra looked down at her, breathing hard. "You won't take anything from me again," she said. "You won't take the prince, you won't take the crown, you won't take the light." She looked at Zuri's wrist, at the shining bracelet Zuri loved so much. Then Kyra climbed down a little, snatched the bracelet off Zuri's hand, and put it on her own wrist. Zuri cried softly. That's from my mother." Kyra didn't care. She climbed back out, pulled branches over the top of the pit, hiding Zuri completely, and whispered, "Stay there, the forest can't have you." Then she walked away. Zuri lay in the darkness, weak, frightened, and alone. The glowing river shimmered quietly. The spirits were watching. Something ancient had been disturbed, and they were not pleased. The forest became quiet after Kyra left. Too quiet. Zuri lay at the bottom of the pit, unable to climb out. The walls were steep and covered with roots and sharp stones. Her body hurt, her head felt heavy, and her heart was breaking. She tried to shout, but her voice was weak. "Help! Somebody help me!" Her words disappeared into the air like tiny whispers. The sun began to move across the sky. Time passed. Zuri became thirsty and tired. She hugged her knees and tried not to cry, but the tears came anyway. "I don't want to die," she whispered. "I only wanted peace. I only wanted to dance." She looked up at the small circle of sky above the pit and thought about her parents. She remembered her mother singing to her. She remembered her father's warm smile. Then she looked at her wrist and saw that her bracelet was gone. The bracelet that protected her. The bracelet that made her feel close to her mother. A sharp pain shot through her heart. "Kyra took it," she whispered. "Why does she hate me so much?" Zuri closed her eyes and began to sing softly. Her voice was weak, shaking like a tiny candle flame in a storm, but it filled the air. It was a song of sadness, a song of pain, a song for help, and the spirits of the Shadow River heard it. Down by the glowing water, the mist began to move. The river began to sparkle like stars. Then something magical happened. 3 water spirits rose from the river. They looked like tall women made of shining water and blue light. Their hair flowed like waves. Their eyes glowed like moonlight. These were the ancient guardians of the river, spirits who punished wickedness and protected innocent souls. The first spirit spoke, her voice echoing like water. "I hear a cry." The second touched the river's surface. "A heart with no anger calls for help." The third spirit closed her eyes, and a cruel hand has caused harm. All 3 spirits looked toward the forest. "She is young," said one. "She is innocent," said another. "She must be saved," said the last. The river water rose in a tall, shining wave, turning to a bright blue bird made of mist and magic. The spirits whispered to the bird, "Fly, find the truth, bring justice." The magical bird flapped its glowing wings and soared into the sky. Back inside the pit, Zuri felt cold wind brush against her skin. She opened her eyes and looked up. A soft blue light floated above her, gentle and warm. Zuri blinked through her tears. Who is there?" The light circled above her like a small star. It hummed a calm melody, keeping her company. Zuri felt a tiny bit of hope. Maybe she would not die here. Maybe someone would come. But far away in the village, Kyra had already reached home. She ran to her mother and smiled brightly, pretending to be tired. "Ah, Mama, I brought the special water," she lied, handing over the pot she filled earlier. Her mother clapped happily. "My beautiful daughter, you will shine today. Go and rest. Soon we will go to the festival." Kyra smiled. Inside that smile was victory. Inside that victory was darkness. She believed Zuri would never be found. She believed her secret would remain hidden forever. But Kyra had forgotten one thing. The spirits were watching, and the truth cannot stay buried. Soon, the magical bird was already flying toward the village.
The sun was bright and hot over the kingdom of Anyema. Drums echoed through the village. Women danced. Children laughed. The whole place buzzed with excitement. It was finally the day of the Prince's Dance Festival. The marketplace was filled with colors, yellow wrappers, red head ties, blue beads, and shining gold jewelry. Every girl wanted to look her best, because today, the prince would choose his future bride. Inside their house, Kyra sat proudly while her mother dressed her up. Her hair was braided with cowries, her wrapper was bright blue, and around her wrist was Zuri's precious bracelet, the one Kyra stole. Kyra looked at herself in the mirror and smiled. "I look perfect," she said. "The prince will choose me." Her mother nodded proudly. But outside the house, something magical flew quietly over the rooftops. The glowing blue spirit bird. It moved from house to house, searching, watching, listening. It was looking for the truth. At the palace, Prince Ikele stood on the high balcony, dressed in fine royal clothes. He had just returned from his studies in another land, and today he looked handsome and calm. The prince smiled at the excited crowd below, but something tugged at his heart. He felt uneasy, like something was wrong, like someone needed help. He didn't understand why. His father, the king, walked to him. "My son," the king said, "today you will choose a bride. Remember, we value kindness over beauty. A wicked heart cannot sit on the throne." The prince nodded respectfully. "Yes, father, I will choose with a clear heart," but the feeling of worry wouldn't go away. Meanwhile, Zuri was still trapped in the pit. Hours had passed. The sky was starting to darken, and Zuri was growing weaker. She tried to climb again, but her hands slipped. Her whole body hurt. I don't want to die here," she whispered. The blue light, the spirit's magic, hovered beside her, giving her a little comfort. But it could not lift her out on its own. The spirits needed humans to see the truth, and the time was coming. Back at the festival, drummers beat their talking drums loudly. Bo, 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 bo. The dancers stepped forward one by one, showing their moves. Finally, Kyra stepped onto the stage. People clapped politely. She was pretty. Her dance was fine. Not the best, but good enough. As she spun around, the stolen bracelet on her wrist glowed in the sunlight. Prince Ikena's eyes widened. "That bracelet," he whispered. He had seen it before. Many years ago, his father, King Adigun, had given that bracelet to a great hunter as a gift of honor. That hunter was Zuri's father, and everyone in the kingdom knew the story. The bracelet belonged to the hunter's daughter, but the prince had never met her. So how was Kyra wearing it? He leaned forward, confused. "Kyra," the king whispered beside him. "Whose child is she?" Prince Ikena frowned. "She claims her parents are dead," the king replied. But something about her story felt strange. Before the prince could ask more questions, whoosh, the glowing spirit bird flew straight into the crowd. Everyone gasped. The bird circled around Kyra, who froze in fear. Then the bird opened its beak and began to sing in a clear human voice. "She wears a stolen gift of bold. Her heart is wicked, dark and cold. Your true bride cries in a pit alone. Return the crown, return the throne." The crowd screamed. Women held their children close. Men stepped back in shock. Kyra trembled and her mother fainted. The prince stood up immediately. "What does this mean?" he demanded. The spirit bird repeated the message again, louder this time.
Prince Ikena's eyes hardened. "Guards!" he shouted. "Follow that bird. It knows the truth." The magical bird flew toward the forest, glowing brighter than a lantern at night. The prince and his guards ran after it. Kyra collapsed to the ground, shaking. Her secret was out. Her lies were breaking. Her wicked deed was catching up with her.
The guards ran into the forest, with the prince close behind. The glowing bird led them straight to the hidden pit. When they arrived, the prince looked down and saw Zuri. She was weak, dusty, and scared, but her eyes glowed with innocence and kindness. "Zuri," he called softly, Are you the daughter of the hunter?" Zuri nodded weakly. "Yes, my prince. My parents, they are gone. Please help me." The prince reached into the pit and lifted her gently. Zuri's heart raced. She felt safe for the first time in hours. Kyra gasped. Her face went pale. "No, this cannot be happening," she screamed. She grabbed at the bracelet on her wrist, but it began to tighten around her like a snake. The more she struggled, the tighter it held. The villagers gasped. Murmurs ran through the crowd. Kyra fell to her knees. I did it! I left her in the pit," she cried. "My prince, I lied. I took her bracelet." Her mother fainted. The truth was out. The wicked plan had failed. The prince turned to Zuri. His eyes were filled with warmth. "Zuri, come with me," he said. "Your heart is pure. Your destiny cannot be stolen by lies or jealousy." Zuri smiled softly, tears falling from her eyes. She had survived the pit, the darkness, and her sister's anger. And now, her courage and goodness were finally rewarded. Kyra and her mother were taken away by the guards to face the king's justice. The villagers whispered among themselves, "No one can steal another person's destiny. What is meant for you will always find you." The blue spirit bird circled above Zuri one last time and then flew back to the river, its mission complete. The prince held Zuri's hand and whispered, "Your life, your heart, your destiny, it belongs to you and no one else. Will you marry me?" Zuri nodded, smiling through her tears. "Yes, my prince." And the kingdom rejoiced. Kyra and her mother were brought before the king, their heads bowed in fear. The villagers gathered round, whispering angrily. Everyone wanted to see what punishment would be given for their wickedness. The king's voice was strong and filled with anger. "Kyra and your mother, you have harmed an innocent child. You stole what was not yours. You tried to take another person's destiny. You will face the consequences of your deeds." Kyra cried loudly. I only wanted to be chosen. I wanted the prince." Her mother screamed beside her. "No, she will be punished." But the king's verdict was clear. "You are banished to the dark forest, never to return to the kingdom of Anyama. Let this be a lesson. Jealousy and lies will never triumph over truth and goodness."